Hello again, YouTube. My name is Bree, and in today's video, I am doing another lighting watercolor study in my Etchr B5 sketchbook, and today I'm using the Roman Szmal watercolor. So, changing up a little bit from last time. Since the last video, I had said I wanted to do more figure studies, and I did do those much more simply in pencil, and so that's on the back of this page. So, otherwise, this video should kind of have a similar vibe to the previous one in terms of what I'm painting. Otherwise, I really don't have too much to talk about this particular painting. So I just thought it's December now. It's time to start kind of having end of the year discussions, end of the year thoughts. So I'll probably tackle those in this and the next video. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. But for this video, I guess I've been struggling a lot with motivation lately. It's just, I think mentally I want to be taking on bigger pieces that take multiple sessions planning. I want to really invest more time into what I'm creating and create stuff that has some sort of meaning to me. These are great. These sketchbook sessions are great for studies and learning new things and practicing new techniques, and they're wonderful. And once I get going, I'm very into it. I definitely hit my flow state, had my audiobook on, was just loving the painting process. So it's not bad. It's just, I want to be doing something. I'm ready to start doing something more. So I'm struggling with the motivation. And I really just can't start right now because I don't have the time. There's so much stuff going on. It's just a really busy time of the year. So yeah, I'm kind of in a weird state right now. I didn't really get a chance yet to recap the art I've created this year, so I think that might be more a topic for the next video, where maybe I could go over what were some of my favorite pieces, what really stands out, what supplies I really liked, and some just general art things for the year, kind of an artistic recap. We'll see if I actually follow through with that or just go off on something else completely. But in this video, I thought I would talk about social media a little bit, at least in the beginning here. We'll see how long I ramble on for and how much time is left, because I'm feeling a certain kind of way about social media right now, and I think that this is going to be just kind of my little rant session. So I know this is going to be nothing new. I'm sure a million people have talked about this, but throughout this year, I decided to keep track on a monthly basis of how my socials were performing. I am the type of person who can't handle too many different social media platforms, partly because I feel I need to interact with others and I don't have the time to go to different platforms every day or even a few times a week. If I'm on too many, it's just going to become overwhelming. It's going to be a job unto itself. And then it's just a lot to learn and figure out, and I kind of gave up on a lot of trying to follow the best practices to get views, to get followers, because it's kind of ridiculous, all these tips and ideas and interpretations of what the algorithm must be, the ever-present algorithm. It's too stressful. So a couple years ago, I finally got to the point where I wasn't so focused on the numbers. If I lost followers, I lost followers. If I gained followers, that's great. But I would only allow myself to look at numbers on a monthly basis, and I wouldn't overly consciously process them. I just, on the first of the month, every month, I wrote down how many followers or subscribers I had and how many posts I had made. And then that way at the end of the year, which is now, I can see those trends. So I started, the first one was December 1st of last year, and then here we are passing December 1st of this year. So what I noticed is kind of what I knew, that YouTube has been my best platform, and there's something about YouTube that I've always loved, and there's a lot of things about YouTube I'm not so in love with right now. There's been a lot of changes lately that have led to just some really weird recommendations and behaviors, and it's a whole separate mess that I'm not going to get into, because if you're using YouTube, you're watching this video, you've probably seen it yourself. But in terms of my other platforms, which really is only Instagram and Artful that I've actually stayed consistent with throughout the year, in a whole year, I would post, I think it was something like I had 40 posts, which isn't great. I started posting weekly and it kind of fell through. But I had no change, especially Instagram. I started out with December 1st of 2022, I had 799 followers, and December 1st of 2023, I had 799 followers. And over time, and I know once again, this is what everyone says, my posts got less interaction, fewer likes, fewer comments. So if I go back to art that was made years ago, I had much more attention, and quite frankly, the art was much worse. Like, proportions were worse, painting was worse, style was inconsistent, and I mean that's depressing. Like I said, I try not to put too much stock in social media. I know some of those followers that would come and go were bots and that would get deactivated. I know there's so many spam accounts out there and that just like follow you just to, come check out my page, blah blah blah. But to see that over the course of an entire year there was no growth in terms of people, I didn't expect that. I thought it was one of those things that you put it aside and just don't focus on it and it grows. It just looks slow month to month or day to day. But yeah, it was completely stagnant for the entire year. So Artful was like, I went from 99 followers to 105. My interactions are pretty low there too. I think it was just one of those platforms a lot of people joined in the beginning when it was new and then stopped using because it didn't really become popular. And it's a shame because I like how it's set up. It's a little sluggish, which is a problem, but in terms of how it's structured with the chronological timeline, the way you can share other people's work, the way you can interact with the community, I liked it. So it's kind of sad to see it not succeed. And then I did try Mastodon, which I've learned that some of the different apps allow you to do different things, but for me, I would follow people because I like their art, but then would just constantly see repost. And for some artists, it would be them just reposting the same art over and over again. So like they might post the same image 3 times in a week. And then other people would just share a lot of stuff they liked, which is great because it gives visibility. But when I follow someone because I want to see art and they're sharing just all kinds of random hobby stuff, it cluttered the feed with the stuff I wasn't looking for, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I used to love that about Tumblr, seeing everything, but for me who doesn't have that much time and just wants to go in and look at all the art, it was very distracting. I end up on rabbit holes, so that one didn't really work for me either. I know a lot of people love it, and that's awesome, and no judgment there. It's just not quite what I was looking for. I think for me, what I really miss is like the old Instagram where you could just open it and it was basically like an art gallery if you were following artists, and that was perfect for me. I could go in, spend 20 minutes flipping through, leave a couple comments, leave some likes, and it's not that anymore. It hasn't been for a long time, and I don't like short form content. If I want to sit down and watch videos, I want to sit down and watch videos, and I prefer longer, like 15 to 20 minute art videos or other stuff too. I watch other stuff on YouTube than just art stuff. But yeah, I don't like Reels. I never liked Reels. I never joined TikTok. It just felt like one of those really dangerous rabbit holes to go down that I would lose so much time. And those shorter form contents, I think, are driving even more rapid art where people are just making something specifically that will fit within a perfect 15-second clip, and I hate it. I miss when people would share more of the footage. I don't like seeing like 2 brushstrokes or just someone turning around a canvas, and my feed is so full of people who are just posting reel after reel after reel now because that's what's perceived as getting the viewership, to get the attention, to get the likes, the follows. And I know there's always been that side of Instagram and all social media that's trying to chase that algorithm and build that viewership, but that seems to be all it is now, and I'm not finding pleasure in using Instagram even to consume content anymore because I'm not seeing any of the posts I want to see unless I spend a lot of time digging. And even if I switch it to friends only, so many of my friends have switched to making lots of little reels in hopes of, you know, growing their viewership, that it's not the platform for me anymore. So yeah, I don't know how I ended up talking about this for this long, but I think ultimately I'm trying to make a decision right now about how I want to proceed with art on the internet right now, because I like having these communities. I like being able to talk to people, interact with people, see what people are creating, share the love, send them comments. And I just, even when I do go on Instagram and I see stuff I love, I no longer feel like I want to have that interaction because I don't want to be brought back to reply or that back and forth anymore. It's just, it's different for me. So if you have platforms you love, or like tools, apps that you love that make the viewership on these other tools more useful to you, please share them with me, because I'm reevaluating and I'm looking and I'm trying to figure out where I want to go from here. At this point, I completely plan to continue with YouTube. I do like making videos. I do like having these weird little conversations with you. I say weird because it feels like I'm just talking to myself, but you're watching, you're listening, and that's amazing. And I love this community. But yeah, otherwise, I'm not really sure what I want to do. And maybe the answer is just stop social media. It's not essential. I don't know. I have some Discord communities I'm somewhat active in, and maybe that's what I should do, is just focus on those where you hang out with artists and have these conversations, because I guess that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Otherwise, I think this was an interesting year for me art-wise. I do think I've made a lot of progress getting towards where I want to be. I'm not quite sure where that is. I feel art is a constant journey, so I have an idea of some of the things I want to do, and I know it's going to be a long time before I could get there, because I can't invest the hours into painting and drawing and studying that I'd love to, but that's okay. We all have our own priorities, and we do everything in our own time. So one day I'll get there. I do, like I said, I want to go back and look at the different pieces I've made this year, my different sketchbook pages. I also keep a running list of everything I've made, so I have it tells me what sketchbook to look in, or if it's loose, or a lot of them are ETCs that have been shipped off, but I have a photo of them somewhere. And I can go back and reflect on what I've done this year. I mean, offhand, a big one was the oil painting class. And that was such a good experience, and yet I haven't made it back to oil painting yet. So I have all these new panels thanks to some wonderful friends to try out, and I can't wait to really invest some time there. And yeah, that is the level of excitement I'm not getting from social media anymore. Social media used to be such a source of inspiration for me, and now I think that's what it is. It went from being so inspiring to just being kind of depressing. And yeah, so I definitely need to start planning out some of these bigger projects, and I really do want to sit down during the holidays and put some conscious effort into thinking about it, doing some thumbnailing and seeing where that takes me, because I think that's going to be a lot more rewarding. Like I said, I definitely plan to continue sharing little sketchbook sessions here because I do enjoy that. I don't know what makes YouTube a more interactive community for me than my other platforms, but I really appreciate all of you that are here, because it really does make me feel good about creating and sharing the process and sharing my work, versus some of the others where, and you know how it is, if you're using social media, it can be demoralizing at times. Yeah, wow, I went on a whole social media rant. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, happy December. I hope things are going well for you. I am having a great time. Otherwise, outside of art and stuff, I have an advent calendar that's full of delicious jams. So I'm having tasty toast every day, and that is fantastic. You can't complain too much about your day if you're starting with something delicious. And then yeah, just getting ready for the holidays. Really looking forward to having some time off. Back to playing too much Baldur's Gate. I need to beat that game so I can move on with my life. And then, yeah, just a lot of home stuff that's been taking up a lot of time. So, yeah. Otherwise, been reading some really good books, so that's good. I just finally finished the latest installment of Jim Butcher's Cinder Spires, which was many, many years in the making, and I really enjoyed that. And then been going through the Lady Astronaut series. I had read the first one a while ago, and a while ago being earlier this year, and I went through the second one recently, and the third one is the audiobook I was listening to while recording this, and I'm just loving that series so much. Lady Astronaut of Mars, so by Mary Robinette Kowal. I'm just not giving people's names or information. So yeah, those little things make me happy still, so can't complain too much. It's been a good month. And yeah, this was a really random video, so thank you for sticking around if you did. I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourselves. And if you have, like I said, any social media recommendations for me, let me know. I'm open to hear it. And if you love like TikTok and Reels and stuff, that's fine. It's 100% personal preference. So everything is personal preference. So enjoy what you enjoy and don't worry about it. But yeah, that's all I got. Sorry, this is a weird sign off. Also, I have been trying to get a video clip of Juno to share with you because I want to share more Juno footage. And every time I pull off the camera, she just freezes and stares at me. So it looks like a 30-second photo. So I will try to get some Juno footage eventually. But in the meantime, I'm sorry for her absence on this channel. So yeah, that's all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Bye.